How's it going, guys? My name is Tyler Davis, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to lower your cost per click. It's going to be kind of an off-the-cuff video. I don't have time for a fully edited video this week, but I just kind of wanted to rant about cost per click. I've got some notes here I'm going to read through. Hopefully, you'll walk away with this video with an idea of how to lower your cost per click without, and this is key, without lowering the quality of your leads. If you do that, then your cost per lead goes down, your revenue goes up, your ads perform better. So the intended audience of this video is a home service business owner who is running or considering running Google advertisement. Whether you're using a agency right now, whether you're doing it on your own, whether you're working to set it up, this will be helpful for you. So I think a good place to start is to understand how Google charges per click. Google search ads, they're a pay per click service. So they obviously charge you for each click, and however many of those clicks turn into phone calls, and the price of that click is what results in your cost per lead, which, assuming lead quality stays the same, results in how much money you're making. Let's just do the math on that quick for you. So there's two numbers that matter. First number that matters is cost per click. Completely dead. So cost per click, first number that matters. Second number that matters, conversion rate. Conversion rate. So cost per click, if your clicks are $10 or $20, your conversion rate on those clicks. So what percentage of these clicks turn into an actual lead? These two numbers equate to your cost per lead, cost per call, cost per customer, whatever you want to call that. This is what we're focused on here. How can we lower this number today? First, you need to understand how Google attributes that click price, because every time you get an ad placement, whether they click on it or not, on the back end, Google's saying, okay, we're going to charge you so much money for this click. So Google Ads is a bidding system, meaning you and all of your competitors are basically telling Google, I'm willing to spend $15 for a click for AC install near me, or something like that, whatever your service is. So there's this common misconception. If one of your competitors or you is spending more than everybody else, like say you're willing to spend more per click, then you're going to outbid everybody. But that's just, simply not the case here. It is a factor. Obviously, spend is a factor. But at the end of the day, it's best to look at this from Google's point of view to help you understand like how the cost is distributed. So from Google's point of view, they have customers who are me and you, the people who spend money on their platform. That's how Google makes most of their money, is people advertising on Google. So they have to keep their customers happy. And in order to keep their customers happy, they A, can't charge them too much because people are going to leave the platform. And B, they need to be a platform where their customers can find their customers. Meaning, if you're advertising your AC stuff on your HVAC stuff on Google, the only reason you're advertising on Google is because your ideal customer, who's a homeowner, is also on Google. So they have really two different types of people they have to care about. But the type of people I want to care about are the people who are searching on Google. Those people, they use Google because it provides them with the result they're looking for. If every time somebody went on Google and they typed in AC installation near me and they didn't find a single AC install company, then they would stop going to Google for that. So it's in Google's best interest to have search results that meet people's needs. What I'm saying here, and it's a long way of saying it, but basically what I'm saying is if you make better ads, you have better landing pages, match the need of what people are searching for with your ad, with your landing page, Google is going to reward you with a lower cost per click. So the more in line with the search that your ad, your landing page, and your service is, the cheaper your cost per click is going to be. So that's how you can beat it. And the way they determine that is with something called quality score. So quality score, it's this, Google says it's not a big deal, but it kind of is a big deal. It determines how cheap your click is going to be. It's at the keyword level, so it's different for every keyword you're searching for. And basically what it is it's a number 1 through 10, 10 being the best, that determines the quality of your ad for that search. So it takes into account how often people click the ad, takes into account how relevant that ad is with that search. It also takes into account the landing page experience. So does the landing page say the same thing? Does the landing page headline say AC installation, or does it say your local HVAC company? Slight difference, but makes a big difference in the quality score. So we work to improve that. That's one of the main things you do. And the best ways to really do that is to make sure you have proper ad groups and you have proper landing pages for those ad groups. So the best way I can explain this is if let me get an eraser. So let's keep this example I was using of you being an HVAC company, right? So let's say you're an HVAC company and you're running an HVAC campaign. Think of that as like the house, the big house you have here. Okay, so that's your campaign, HVAC, it's the house. Then within the house, you have these different rooms. I'm actually gonna erase this little detail here. Within the house, you have AC, you have heat, then you have AC repair, which is different than AC installation. So you have all these different sections of searches, and you need your ad groups to match those. So you need to be writing ads not at the house level. You don't want your ads to say we are an HVAC company. You need to be writing your ads at the search level and at the ad group level, because people don't search for HVAC near me. What they search for is heater repair, same day heater repair. They search for AC tune-up. That's what they search for. That's what your ads need to say, and that's the same message your landing page needs to have. So where these go, that needs to say the same thing as well. Doing all of that, Google will reward you with a lower cost per click because you're going to have a higher quality score for that search. Now, something as a side note here, I know we're talking about cost per click mostly, but it's very important. If you're going to talk about cost per click, we also need to talk about only paying for clicks that actually matter. Because yes, we can lower our cost per click dramatically by paying for clicks that are incredibly general, that have no indication that they're looking to buy a service. For example, that comes up a lot in home services, DIYers, people who are looking to do it themselves. We can choose to advertise for those searches, and our cost per clicks can be very low because every good advertiser is not advertising on those. So there's no competition. And the reason there's no competition is because those people will never become a customer. They're DIY through and through. They might become a customer down the road, but they're not going to become a customer from that click today. So when we're trying to lower our cost per click, we need to keep the buyer intent in mind. Otherwise, we're going to lower our cost per click, but our cost per lead is going to go up, and it's all going to be worth nothing. Because cost per click, it's an important metric, sure, but it's not cost per lead. So we talked before about CPC and conversion rate. Those are the two numbers that matter. If you bring in bad traffic and bad clicks, your conversion rate is going to go through the floor, and you're just going to waste a ton of money. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. All right, let's give you some tactical and maneuvers you can do to improve your ads. So we talked about how improving your click-through rate is going to improve your quality score. Everything really comes down to the quality score here. So the first way, right, is to improve your click-through rate. What that means is more people who see your ad actually click it. And there's a couple ways we can improve this. One, we already talked about, is by putting the right ad for the right search. That's probably one of the most important things. I can beat that horse to death, but you understand that. That's what you have to do. The second way to improve your click-through rate is just by writing better ads, writing ads that appeal to people. And when you're writing these ads, there's a couple different types of headlines I like to use that really drive the clicks up. The first one is just like a very clear statement of what you do. This is very obvious, but using these types of headlines are almost required. So like, I'm just gonna call it clear statement. What these are number one HVAC company in so-and-so, number one AC install in Texas. Wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever that search is for, just say that's you. Best AC installation. Clear statement about what you are, clear value proposition. Basically, you're matching exactly what they're searching for. The second thing is clear benefit. So if your first type of headline is that clear statement about who you are and what you do, the second one is going to be benefit. That would be free estimates. That would be same-day service. That would be 50% off new customers. That type of stuff is the second type of one you want to do. Third, this is one a lot of people don't do, because I don't know, maybe they're scared to do it or they think it's silly, but it works incredibly well from what I've seen. And for what we see, we use it for all of our clients. Humor. And when I say humor, I don't mean complete jokes. I also mean, cleverness in the headlines, little cheeky things that you can get. So for AC repair, it'd be like, your wife is hot, get your AC repair fixed. That's a very common one. Something that pops off the page that makes people like see your ad that is different than others. Because something you got to consider too is when someone goes on the search result page, you're not going to be the only person on there who says free quotes and we're the best AC repair in the area. You need to stand out a little bit. So by having some humor, that helps a lot. So, and it's not just humor, it's cleverness too. So you could say something along the lines of, don't sleep in the heat tonight. That little rhyme or something, a little personal touch. That's kind of what I mean with this. I should rename it. Humor / clever, same idea. So play with those. You use AI to help come up with them. AI typically sucks at humor, so you're going to have to ask it to make 100 ideas, then you pick out like the best two. Play with it, think around, talk to your people on your team, see what you guys can come up with, because these work super well if you get a good one going. Fourth thing, super important, this kind of goes in with this one, kind of similar idea, is the ad assets. So bare minimum, your ad is a headline and description, but they have assets within Google that helps boost your CTR through the roof, click-through rate. What this means typically is like a picture. So put a picture with your ad. Site links. So what that means is when you have your ad, you might have your ad like this. Site links would be like, like little sub ads underneath. Really expand your real estate on the page. Other things they allow you to do are like call outs or structured snippets or promotions, pricing, deals, location, logos, business names. There's a bunch of different assets you can do. Phone number obviously is a good one. It's a must-have one actually. So that type of stuff really boosts your CTR and in turn boosts your quality score, which in turn lowers your cost per click. So the last thing I want to talk about lowering your cost per click is going to be continuous optimization. So we already talked about how we do this by improving our quality score. So we talked about we need to improve our click-through rate by writing good ads, by doing this thing. We talked about how we need clear message match from search bar to the ad headline itself to the landing page itself all the way through. And we talked about how we only want to bid on the right sorts of terms. This kind of comes into what I want to talk about with optimization. So as you know, Google Ads is not a set it and forget it type of situation. You need to be regularly optimizing. You need to be regularly optimizing these campaigns, improving them day in and day out. So you not only get better results over time, but you don't let Google kind of like run astray with your budget and start doing things that you just don't want to happen. So one of the best things you can do to optimize every day is to make sure that only your ideal customers even see your ad in the first place. What this accomplishes is Google's getting trained on the good types of customers that you want. Your click-through rate goes up because bad searches aren't showing your ads. So in turn, your quality score goes up. And then Google starts to think that, hey, this person is solving problems. You're getting more conversions. Google sees you as a good advertiser. So they're going to promote you more. One of the best and easiest ways for you to get a huge uplift in the amount of conversions and how well your ad is churning views into phone calls is by only showing your ad to people who will buy in the first place, by limiting the people who can see your ad to only your ideal customer. So how do we do this? I don't really have anything to write here, I guess. The way you do this is by every single day going in to your Google Ads and looking at your search term. Every day, go in, look at yesterday's search terms. What this shows you is about doesn't show you all of it. Google doesn't give you that full transparency because they say that they're not showing searches that have personal identify information. I think they're kind of tight on that, but that's beside the point. The point is you're able to see where your ads showed up for every single search. So it's gonna be a list of searches that your ads showed up for. And what you wanna do every day is you wanna log into these search terms. You wanna look at it from yesterday and you want to pick out little phrases and little words that you never want your ad to show up for again. So let's say, we're doing the AC repair. We look at our search terms from yesterday and we see a search like this. How do I clean my AC? Now, we never want our ad to show up for that. That is a terrible thing to show up for because this is a DIYer. If they do decide to call some sort of HVAC company, they're not going to decide for hours because they're going to go out there, they're going to try to clean it themselves. They might even say, oh, let me try running my AC for 2 days and see if it improves itself. Then, 2 days from now, it's not a hot day anymore. So they go back. Then all of a sudden, 3 days later, 100-degree day comes again. They realize that their clean job was completely useless because their unit's busted and their pipes are freezing. And it's long story short, this person is not going to be a customer. So we need to take out not just this phrase. You can take out the whole phrase and put that in your negative keyword list, or you can just take out the core part, and that's what I do. So what I would do is I would take this, the how do I part, I would take this and I would put it in my negative keywords. What this means is anytime somebody searches how do I with any sort of text after or any sort of text before, your ad will never show up for. Now, ideally, you have a bunch of these before you even start running the campaign. Ideally, your negative keyword list is huge before you even start running the ads. No matter what, there's going to be searches and phrases and words that you could not have thought of that your ad is showing up for. And you need to be checking in it every day, at least every day at the start of the campaign. Maybe around, month 2 or 3, you can get by doing it once a week. I would still just recommend doing it every day to make sure that your ad never shows up for that again. Because what happens is when your ads are showing up for these bad keywords, and even if somebody clicks this is 10 times worse. Google's then going to optimize for, oh, that person clicked this, meaning that people who search this stuff and see your ad, they think that's a good match. So it's going to start optimizing for those clicks, and you're going to get bad traffic. You're going to get bad conversions. Your cost per click is going to go up because you're not getting any conversions, and Google sees that you're not helping anybody. It's just an overall bad experience. So to recap, here's just kind of like a checklist of things to do to lower your cost per click. Tight keyword targeting, high intent searches only. We're not doing these how do I's. We're doing specifically people who are looking for your service, and keep it very tight. Second, we got to group these keywords correctly. Remember when I had the house and I had the different rooms? Group them into tight grouping with different ad groups. Do not put your AC repair and your AC installation. Do not have those two types of searches going to the same ads. Separate those out. Repair and install are similar, but very different. So make the ads different, make the landing pages different. Also, make sure you're targeting the right areas. Don't target the zip codes you don't want to service. And then make sure your ads look good. So write them all out. Make sure you have all the assets that we talked about. Use the humor, use the cleverness, use those three types of headlines that we talked about. So the really clear statement, the benefit focused, and then that humor and cleverness. And then once you launch it, check those search terms every single day and improve them, clean out the junk, make sure your ads are only showing up for the highest intent customers who are most likely to become customers for you. And what this results for you is a lower cost per click, which means a lower cost per lead, which means more leads for the same budget. Let's show some math. I'll end it off with this here. So if your cost per click on average is $20 and your conversion rate is 20%, then your average cost per lead is going to be $100. It's $20 times 5 because 20% is 1/5. So that's how much that's going to cost you. If you can improve, well, let me get ahead of myself. Let's say you're spending 10 grand a month. Let's say your budget's 10 grand. Then what that means with this cost per lead, you're getting 100 calls. Let's say from what I taught you today, you're able to lower that cost per click on average to something like, I don't know. Let's say you get it down to, let's be realistic. Let's say $15. You're not dropping it down in half. Let's say you get it down to $15. What does that look like for your bottom line? So your new cost per lead is going to be lower. So it's going to be 15 times 5. That's 50 plus the $75 cost per lead. And with that $75 cost per lead, and you're still same $10,000 budget, instead of getting 100 calls, now you're getting, I have to use my calculator on this one, 133. 33 more calls. That's a 33% increase, 1/3 increase on your amount of calls you're getting for that same budget, just by lowering your cost per click by $5 and keeping the quality the same so your conversion rate stays the same. That's how important this is. Make sure you do everything I taught you in this video to lower that number. If you're working with an agency, make sure they're doing these things. And if you're doing this on your own, maybe you're working with an agency, you're unhappy with them, or you're doing it on your own and you don't like how it's going, please check out the link in the description below. You can apply to work with us. What we do is, we do this whole campaign build out for you. We set it all up for you. It's a one-time payment, give you 30 days of management, give you a full thing of training, and then you can own that campaign and run it yourself afterwards. We also offer ongoing management as well, but the real kicker offer that people really like is that one-time payment. So check it out. It's in the description below. Also down there, I'm going to have a link to our ROI calculator. It's free. Check that out. It's a pretty great tool. You can see exactly what type of return you can expect when you're working with a good Google Ads agency. It's realistic for your industry and your location. So check that out. Free resource. Check out the other resource to apply to work with us. And hopefully you got some value from this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and check out more videos on the channel. See you in the next one.